This is a free sample of the book, Reinvent Ideal, What to Do When You're Depressed and No One Cares Because You're Not a Chick, by Cairo Copeland. The first half of this book is posted right here on YouTube, free for everyone to listen to. If you like this content and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/ideal. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/ideal.
Chapter 8. I'm not a creep if I'm hot. I truly despise the cries of privilege, whether it's white privilege, male privilege, straight privilege, or whatever. The cries of privilege are inspired by the human motive of work avoidance. If we can easily dismiss the success of others to hide the embarrassment of our own failures by claiming they have privilege, we've made a case to excuse ourselves from hard work. But there is one class of privilege that can't be denied: beauty privilege. How often have you seen incredibly stupid people get promoted to jobs they don't deserve just because they're pretty? How often have you seen pretty people get lighter sentences for the same crimes a less fortunate looking person served a longer sentence for? And who do you think is going to have an easier time, and by effect an easier life, selling pictures of themselves on OnlyFans? It's very clear that sometimes sexiness works in your favor. Deborah Rogue writes in her book, The Beauty Bias, of a penalty for being plain. Being physically attractive can land you a better job, higher pay, better grades, find more appealing partners, and random strangers are more likely to help you when you're in trouble. If you're arrested and thrown in jail, sexier defendants have typically lower bail than plain ones. Apparently, the supposed blind Lady Justice just had to take a peek. Remember what I said about fast wealth and the brain adjusting to newly acquired assets? Well, beauty is different because it's the default status. You're already adjusted to it. Thus, sexy people have the same self-esteem problems as everyone else. Just like with money, our comparative nature sets in. So you're better looking than all of your friends. You don't compare yourself to them. You compare yourself to the models in the media, against whom you'll always lose. They have the distinct advantage of a makeup pit crew and Photoshop editors. Think back to your own personal experiences in high school, or perhaps a job where most of your coworkers were in high school. Was it not the attractive people that had the most rumors roaming around about them? Here's a scenario. There's this hot girl in school. The geeky dudes gather around and talk about how much they'd like to do her. The douchebag hears them and taunts them, saying, "Hey, I did her." He really didn't, but he just wanted to mark his territory like a wolf. What he said spreads around. Someone might even say they did her and mean it jokingly, but the joke is spread around as fact in the form of rumors, and a new rumor surfaces. The girl's a slut. It's no different for men. Some of the most good-looking guys are judged in the harshest manner and have the most negative things said about them. Take Jason Momoa, for example, who you may remember from Game of Thrones and Aquaman. He's a very buff, masculine dude, exploding with muscle, while also supporting a six-pack. One time, a candid photo was released of him showing his six-pack had gone missing. Twitter, like most social media, is an outpost for ignorant imbeciles and went haywire over it. The posts about him were poking fun at him at best, saying he has a dad bod, to full-fledged insulting at worst. Ironically, these ignorant fools making fun of him don't understand how body physics work. He actually looked pretty good for a male his age, despite not having his six-pack. It's very evident by looking at him in this picture that he's athletic and lifting heavy weight. A six-pack is a result of a specific and strict diet, but packing on muscle is the result of lifting heavy and eating everything in sight, because you must have weight to lift weight. Bodybuilding has a beefing up phase, followed by a shredding down phase. To the pretty, love itself becomes questionable. Ever seen a hot girl tell an unfunny joke and everyone around laughs at it? Once these attractive people realize they're on the upper end of a double standard, they begin to see everything through a cynical lens. This is why the hot girls are usually the very bitchy ones, because compliments, even if genuine, are completely ignored. They're just conditioned to do that. They even grow aware that potential dates are using tactics of questionable veracity. It's hard to enjoy a date when all you can think about is that other person is just trying to get into your pants. It's not as advantageous as you think it is. What you think. Being hot gets me higher pay, but what you should know is it's higher pay you didn't earn. You may think being hot gets you better grades. What you should know is those are higher grades you also don't earn, but you do earn your old wrinkly professor fantasizing about you at night. You may think being hot makes judges more lenient, but what you should know is you'll be judged by more people than actual court justices, and on a daily basis. What you think, being hot may help you find a rich partner, but you should know the trade is basically money for sex. What is that now? Oh, right, the world's oldest profession. What you think is that being hot means people will help you in times of need, but what you should know is don't think for a second that they don't expect a thing in return. Many guys, particularly the black pill types, falsely believe that their looks are all that matters to a woman, often called the looks maxers. They think they could do anything and not be considered creepy if they were hot. But this is the furthest thing from the truth. Club bouncers in Los Angeles will tell you that even Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt have been turned down by women at clubs or called creeps for trying to flirt with them. Well, sure, they have been plenty of times where these hunks went up to random women and dropped a dirty pickup line and were received favorably. But this has nothing to do with their looks. You see, the women they've successfully hit on fell in love with these guys long before the flirtation by watching their movies. There are many women that complain about jocks being meatheads despite their desirable bodies. Looks are only enough to get you through the door, but they don't lock it behind you. Look no further than a movie made by women for women, and was successful because of how well it spoke to women, Bridesmaids. There's a scene where one incredibly shredded hunk in a pair of Speedos approaches a group of women. They're all drooling at his chiseled bod, but the moment he speaks and reveals he has a high-pitched voice of a weakling, they all burst out laughing at him and lose all attraction. What this proves is that if your behaviors, mannerisms, and other features are not congruent with your good looks, the good looks don't matter. You could be the sexiest man around, but if you don't act confident and masculine, you're not going to be any better off. While women may enjoy Justin Bieber's songs, they don't fantasize about having sex with him because he's not masculine. Further, you've seen ugly guys with beautiful women. Sometimes it's because he's rich, other times it's because he's funny, and other times it's because he's very extroverted and confident. What motivates a woman's decision to marry a man, of which man to mate with, is not looks, like it is for men, but a hypergamy that covers all traits across the board, from looks to riches to personality.
Thank you for listening to this free sample of the book, Reinvent Ideal, What to Do When You're Depressed and No One Cares Because You're Not a Chick, by Cairo Copeland. If you enjoyed it and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/ideal. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/ideal.